Yeah, live now.
Okay, because the thing is I'm still, Hello, hi, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Right. Okay,
Hi.
Simon is in now. He told me he's in. Simon Wong from MRCA. Actually they're already in already.
Yes.
Hey. So
Yeah.
20 participants are rising up.
Okay, I can see people coming in already. All right. So a very good evening to everybody. Thank you for coming in. I saw Ian, I saw Colleen, Rizal from LOL Asia. Thank you for coming. And Simon Wong, he's already in as well. Okay, Nadi from Interstars is also with us. Thank you so much for coming. Right? Okay. So a very good evening to everybody here that is already in the room. Okay, hello to all our viewers and to our Muslim friends and also our two panel guest speakers. I just want to make sure Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri and Maaf Zahid dan Batin. And
Thank you.
All right. So hope you all had a good meal already. And those that came in, thank you so much for making time actually at this hour after your dinner to come with us. I want to say that I am very honored and privileged. Both me and Yvonne are very honored and privileged to have very prominent panelist guest speaker today. All right. And I would like to thank the panel speakers for joining us tonight. Thank you so much, Encik Nazam and Encik Ajmin. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. And the reason we are having this live event is to allow the distinguished guest speaker to share about innovation, which is also the key to build our business in this new norm, right? Especially startups, SME, and also business owner. Okay, so let me introduce you our very distinguished panel of speakers. First off is Encik Ashmin Kasim. All right.
Yeah.
Hello. He is the Chief Executive Officer of SIRIM Tech Venture Syndrome Berhad. Now, a lot of people heard of SIRIM, but this is SIRIM Tech Venture, or in short, STV. This company is a wholly owned subsidiary of SIRIM Berhad, and STV is in the business of technology and commercialization. And technology commercialization is the process of converting innovative ideas into businesses that generate economic value and positive impacts. What I really admire about Encik Ajmin is that he has a goal and also he has a far-sight thinking to make SIRIM Tech Venture Syndrome Berhad as a referral hub, okay, for technology, enterprise, and also business commercialization, not just regional, okay, not just in Malaysia, not just in Southeast Asia, but also globally. So yes, thank you so much, Encik Ajmin. And also we have Encik Nizam Muhammad Nazri. All right. Okay, who is the Executive Officer of Malaysia Debt Ventures Berhad, in short, MDV. So don't get confused. One is STV and the other one is MDV. All right. Okay, so Encik Nizam, prior to this, he was the Chief Operating Officer of MDV, and formerly he was the head of MASDAQ, unit of Securities Commission, and also the advisor to the Executive Chairman of KLSE. Encik Nizam has a very wide range of experience as far as operation and also financing is concerned. I really admire for his wide range of experience actually. And because prior to this, he is also in KLSE. He was also attached to Amanah Capital Group, right? Encik Nizam?
Yes.
Okay, so really privileged and happy to have you with us. And also, last but not least, Lim Yvonne, okay, who is the CEO and also the co-founder. Hi, Yvonne.
Hello.
All right. of Elevat8. She is actually one of the brightest stars in the wealth and financial industry. Those that are in the financial industry will know of her. And she has elevated more than thousands individuals and also family members by providing the best financial planning for them. And she and her team are currently making waves and impacting more lives by advocating the importance of financial fitness. One thing about Yvonne is she always inspires me and the team to always go beyond our limit. So if you know her, you know this is one of the trademark. And I'm Sabrina. Hello. Okay. And I'm the yes, I'm the co-founder and of Elevat8 and also the moderator for today. All right. For all the viewers that are in the chat room now, if you have any specific questions to our speakers, please type in the chat room. You can see there is a Q&A. Yeah, there's a chat room there. Okay. Please type down your questions and we will try to answer them as many as possible as time permits. All right. Everybody cool here?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Now, let's continue on. So I actually wanted to have give some airtime to all the speakers, our panel speakers, about a little bit on what they actually do. So can we start with 𝐍𝐢𝐬𝐻? Can you share with us more about SIRIM Tech Venture and also how the audience, especially the SME owners today who are in this technology sector can benefit from it?
Right. Good evening. Thank you very much, Sabrina, and also the Encik Nizam and Yvonne, and also the audience. In fact, I think I would like to really appreciate about the invitation given to me for tonight. This is actually I would say, a very great opportunity for me to share, of course, our organization as well as our role towards innovation, if you like, and the. As the title also mentioned about innovation, I think something that we wanted to share with the audience and how we want to go about it. Okay, in short, I think Sabrina already mentioned about STV and the lengthy way. So I think it's very clear that we are one of the subsidiaries under SIRIM Berhad that focusing on business commercialization. The word we use business commercialization, as you know, technology per se is not that easy thing to handle. I mean, in very general terms, people really don't want to buy the technology. They're actually looking into the business opportunity. So how do you want to do the migration from the technical aspect into business term? That is what we are handling right now. So that means we are trying to give the values of the technology that we have to be offered to the public for business purposes. So that is how the journey is all about. That's why the vision that we have, as you mentioned, we want to be a referral hub, is our long-term kind of vision. So this is where the journey is starting right now, this year. Later on, I will share on how the GoTo platform that we wanted to share with the audience can benefit the audience, right? And SIRIM Tech Venture has been mentioned just now is 100% wholly owned by SIRIM. That means we are really a company under SIRIM. That means we are focusing on commercializing the technology. So in doing so, we have been mandated by SIRIM Berhad to do the commercialization since 2017, as I mentioned earlier. So we are practically new in that particular sense. But evolving in innovation, I think way back in 1975, where SIRIM has been established. So it's a long journey.
Right.
Perhaps it's more towards, like, I would say, cottage kind of innovation, all that. Okay. So that's another second part I wanted to share. What is the difference between invention and innovation? Where
invention and innovation.
It's a misuse of the word. Perhaps the good intention but different meaning. So maybe later on I would touch on that. So basically, STV is a small company that only focusing on commercialization. And we have about 20 manpowers only. And our offices separated into two. One in Shah Alam, section 16, is our headquarters. The other one actually far to the north in Pematang Pau Penang, where we are focusing on the high-tech technology, on composite technology. So talking about composite, if you know carbon fiber, this is where we are dealing with. So we are coming out with a technology that can store high pressure gas. We are talking about 300 bar. So this is where we evolve to prove that this technology is really viable for the country at last. So this is the journey. I will touch on that one later, because the story of innovation is not a destiny. It's a long journey. It's a continuous. When you have that process, right? So that's how the thing is all about. Then, of course, we have a very unique section. But before that, I wanted to share our vision. STV vision is to be the prominent business commercialization vehicle of technology-based innovation. So it's really a mouthful, but it's really meaningful. So we are focusing on technology-based innovation only. That means we are not selling retailing product. We are not selling apparel. We are not selling equipment. We are selling something that based on technology, converting into product, services, and things like that. All right. And our mission is very focused. We want to commercialize, especially the local innovation, into the marketplace. That's again the challenge. But we know it's not easy, but it's doable. It's the only thing that we wanted to leverage with all the parties, including MDV as well. So later on, I will share that platform where we can work together. We are not competing. In fact, we are leveraging. We want to synergize with all the people who has the strength, and we also have the strength. So we want to put it together to achieve that that idea or objective of converting innovation into the marketplace. This is what I mean in short about STV. I think I already took longer time than it's supposed to be, but anyway, just add a little bit. So we have about three sections in our company. One is the business development section, which is headed by Zanaria. This is where the business development exercise, the interfacing with the outside world, if you like, the market. The other one is a commercialization section. I always categorize it as a processing system, like a computer, a central processing unit, where all the exercises that will explain later on also in the platform. So that's why I said it's very crucial for me to share with the audience so that we'll understand why we set up in such a manner. All right. Another section focusing on composite technology section, that purely on that particular area of technology that can be used. Interestingly, I will keep you waiting later on. All right. So with that, I pass back to Sabrina. I hope we'll explain SIRIM Tech Venture in a very brief manner. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Encik Ashmin. I think because the topic for today is innovation, right? So when innovation comes, you will hear a lot of technology from the both speakers, and that how does this actually help us? So thank you so much, Encik Ashmin, for your introduction. I will pass this to Encik Nizam as well, because you are in Malaysia Jet Venture. Could you share and also elaborate more about what you do, and also for the viewers, some of them are SME owners, and how they are able to better understand about MDV.
Thank you, Sabrina, Yvonne, AJ. Again, thank you again for the introduction. Firstly, I would like to tell your viewers that not to adjust your video. You are not seeing double. It's just that AJ and I look very much alike. We try to differentiate ourselves by the background here. For MDV, I'll have to take you all about 18 years back. We were set up in 2002. I only joined in 2008. So in 2002, back then, MDV was set up to support the multimedia super corridor, the IT companies coming then, the MSC companies rather. So they were having problems, looking for loans to finance, to develop their projects and so forth. So MDV generally provides project financing to help, or contract financing to help these companies implement their projects. So they can buy their project inputs, let's say, in some of the IT projects. If it's a government project, they will need to put out a substantial outlay. For some of the projects can go up to 30 to 40 million. And payments are coming in over the next 5 to 7 years. So we would lend the money to the customer to build the system. Once completed, then payments or the cash flow will be coming in. So in short, what MDV does is to finance future cash flows. So we started off with IT in 2004 when the government launched the National Biotechnology Policy. We financed biotechnology project. And in 2009, we went into green technology. So for green technology, that in the past couple of years, that has been one of our largest contributor, the largest financier, even compared to the banks. Just as an indication of scale, MDV is about 1/700, 1/800 the size of Midbank in terms of assets. But in terms of renewable energy, we are the largest financier. So the role of MDV that we see is, these are new sectors coming up. The conventional banks or financiers are still wary. They're not sure what to make of it. They don't understand the risk. So MDV comes in. We use our project financing capabilities, technology expertise to finance this. So from now, our portfolio now stands at about 1 billion ringgit. Half 50% is in IT, 50% is in renewable energy. In IT, it's subdivided into other areas, but the two main categories are IT projects, like some of the e-government. We finance some of the, not just for the government, but for GLCs, for MNCs, and for large companies. We finance the vendors or contractors, especially IT. For renewable energy, we finance waste management, water management, and a large renewable energy power purchase agreement. So that's basically what MDV does. We finance technology projects. We have another business that we do. First, if I can differentiate to the audience, generally I view lending as three types. One, you lend based on collateral, which is very easy. You give me 1 million cash, I lend you 1 million. Relatively easy. But the second part that we do, we lend based on project cash flows. So here, look at different things. Rather than look at collateral, we need to look at the capability, the people behind the company, the ability to execute it, they're able to perform that particular contract, then the cash flow coming in. The third part, the third part type of lending is you lend based on valuation. So this is our new business that we're coming out. We have with the government's assistance, we have a pilot program where we lend to startup companies. So this is, we lend based on valuation. That helps MDV to mitigate the risk. Because generally what we do not have any direct subsidies or monies from the government. They just give us a government guarantee and we go to the capital market, we borrow against that. Why we do that? Generally because it's very much cheaper. It has its own rating. If we were to borrow our own right now, it's about 4%. If we borrow based on government guarantee, it's roughly about 3%. So that's saving that we pass on to our customers. So generally, that's the business that we do. Generally, we lend to technology companies or technology-based companies undertaking projects. And the small part of our business, which is currently about 35 million as compared to 1 billion for the other one, it's to lend to startup companies, in particular companies that have venture capital companies in them. That's in essence what MDV does. Generally, we are financiers similar to banks, but a bit more special purpose. If we can compare, we are more like something like Bank Pembangunan. Bank Pembangunan lends to large infrastructure projects, highways, ports, or other project financing based projects. We lend to projects, but technology-based projects. So right now, it's ICT and green technology our drivers now. Sorry, thank you.
Wow, that's a really long introduction, but a very detailed one. So basically what Encik Nizam is more doing is more towards financing the future cash flow, right? Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much, Encik Nizam, for your detailed introduction. Okay, and also Yvonne, all right? both of them are from three of you are from different industry, and you are from the financial industry as well. Maybe you can share with us what do you do, and also your team. What does your team Elevate does?
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Yvonne. Yeah, I'm the CEO of Elevate, and Sabrina here is the COO of Elevate. Yeah, so in fact, like what Nizam said, when I first time see AJ and Nizam, I thought two of them are the long lost brother. You guys are not the long lost brother. Yeah, so I think I want to give more airtimes to our brothers here to share with us more about what MDV to offer, and also what STV to offer. So I will just cut it short to introduce what is Elevate about. In fact, a lot of our friends is asking what is Elevate. So Elevate, we are actually a platform to provide free financial education for SME and MNC. So yeah, so basically we are in the financial education. Okay, then all right, that's all. I pass back to Sabrina.
Okay, thank you very much for your introduction, Yvonne. So talking about today's topic, all right, today's topic is about innovation, right? And how, what is the key to ascend, this innovation is basically the key to ascend our business in the new normal. So when I'm talking about innovation, technology comes in and all this thing. So one of the topic about innovation is about frugal innovation. And frugal innovation seems to be quite trending now. And for the benefits of the viewers that do not understand what is frugal innovation, okay, frugal innovation is basically an object, okay, an object that is cut down with a lot of unnecessary. I'm giving you an example now, okay? So basically this is a pen knife, all right? What does frugal innovation, this is not frugal innovation. What does frugal innovation is, there is actually 6 functions for this thing, all right? But the main thing that we use is normally the knife, or maybe this small thing over here, another knife here, and also maybe the cork one, this one, all right? So frugal means to cut off the unnecessary one, to reduce the cost, because not everybody necessarily use it, okay? So I reduce the cost of all this unnecessary one, and to have only just a few function. This is the main thing of what frugal innovation is, because it's very taxing. So this is, I hope that you'll understand what it means by frugal innovation, all right? And what do you think about frugal innovation for both 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 and also 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 Nizam? And how does this shape us as a business owner?
Okay.
I will pass it to 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Sabrina. I think you have explained in a better way of frugal innovation. But I think before we go into that, why don't we just rest our mindset about innovation and also invention, as I promised just now. I think invention, as you know, is something I would consider very unique and a new thing, new findings. Okay, all right. It's basically what we call normally fundamental. The one you started from the beginning, from the labs and all that. It will take longer time. Okay. The innovation, I think the smartest way, I would consider where the high value of it, meaning to say you improve certain processes, certain function to make it even better. So you give the higher value. So I always put innovation in a very short period of time, whereas invention will be longer time for you to actually come into effect, into physical form. Where innovation, you play around with somebody else's invention. You already leveraging on top of others, you give the value. So that's why as a business owner, you usually look into innovation, where you can make money faster. Whereas when you go into invention, you have to come in more money, right? You have to really put your R&D in a very big way, the investment part. So I would say the innovation, that's how the innovation will be. As simple as we can see right now during this COVID pandemic, where you can see a lot of innovation. So that actually dragged into frugal innovation, where people looking into what is really needs for them to be or useful for them, for that matter. So that reflect what Sabrina mentioned just now. What actually the market needs for that particular function. If you give a lot of function, you sell a certain value, X value, people don't buy it. People don't see the necessity.
Right.
But the function of the knife basically to cut, right? So it's a knife. So that's how the frugal innovation comes in. where is even faster. But it's not saying it's become low quality. It just to fit what the market needs at that particular time. So in these particular cases, example, pandemic issues or challenges, people need it very fast, right? We want it to be tomorrow, not even yesterday, but you need tomorrow to get it done. So this will happen right now. But again, when it comes into fitting the function, it is also the issue of quality, issue of the pricing, how to get it right. In the first place, we can make maybe quick money because people don't bother about the cost. They just need they just what do you call it? They just need it because they need it, so they're willing to pay the value, right? But once it's come into like healthcare matter for that purpose, people concerned. It goes effect for long effect and things like that. So the innovation part is where the frugal very easy to understand. Frugal is the cheapest way to do it, but to fit for the function. Then I think that's will be the frugal innovation all about. Reducing as less as much possible in terms of resources, but give the best fit value. You're not giving the high value, but the best fit value for that particular moment. Then you will understand that frugal innovation. That's why we can have sometimes they call it substandard, but substandard is not really frugal innovation. They just think about making money. Duplication of certain thing, but there's no durability. You know, yeah, you can sell it within maybe 1 month. People expect 6 months. So this is a thing that the balancing act of getting the frugal right to the market needs. So that's why when we do innovation, it's always the market needs that we actually wanted to really understand. This is what I think last time you maybe you have heard about technology push. This is what we call the scientists always feel short sendiri, meaning to say they do it because they feel the market really need it. But when the times come, it's not happening because it's either too late or it's too fast. So it's not matching with the market needs. So now we are looking into we call it market pull. That means you have to understand the market. What is the market needs? Then you put it back into your we call it design table or whatever it is, or based on the existing invention already happened in this world, you just do a kind of innovation, changes a little bit to give value. So it's very, I mean, if you look at this now, it's about sanitizing a booth.
Right.
There's nothing new. It's not rocket science. Just understanding of spraying with disinfection and things like that. But now the question is, people start questioning, how safe is the liquid? Is it how safe? People start asking, but at the first time they don't bother. They don't want to have it. Be there. So this is how innovation can play on that part and the other part, the pro and con side. Okay? I hope I just highlighting this part of innovation. Of course, it's a long thing to be discussed. It need a lot of people support in order to do this frugal innovation, because you need a kind of this is what I call outsourcing. You don't have to do it all by yourself. You have to actually understand who else can do this part. So that means this is all the outsourcing, the collaboration, or the new word competition. You work with your competitors in order to deliver. So competition is the word that we are now using it. We should work with our competitors in order to serve the market needs. That's how I believe frugal innovation. Maybe some other people have some different opinion, but that is my opinion in short.
Right. What I got from Encik Ashmin is because normal way we don't normally work with our competitors, but during this time, because of this current situation, it is important for us to actually collaborate and also to work together. And even though frugal innovation means reducing some of the features, but doesn't mean that it compromises on the quality of it. Right? Even though it reduces some of the function in the cheapest way, but the quality is still there. And the most important thing is we still serve the needs of the market, right, Encik Ashmin?
Yeah.
Yes, correct. Thank you so much, Encik Azmin. What about Encik Nizam? What do you think about frugal innovation, right? And how does frugal innovation actually shape us as business owner?
I think AJ gave a good viewpoint from the practitioner's point of view, the technologist's point of view. I think what I can relate is perhaps from the finances point of view. Just perhaps as a background into how startup companies begin. So they essentially start from pre-seed or seed funding, and then go on to graduate to venture capital, and to a certain degree venture debt, and then subsequently either they get bought out by another larger company, let's say WhatsApp and Facebook, and Instagram and so forth, or they go for listing. So that's essentially the path. But when at the starting phase, I think when frugal innovation comes in, so at the early stage, seed funding, that's generally provided by other than friends or family members. That's generally provided by accelerators. So for accelerators, what they will guide you. They will coach the new startups. But this is where the frugal part comes in. I think when I chat with some of the accelerators, especially the digital ones, they're looking for the digital startups. They are investing small amounts, 50,000 to 70,000. Therefore, that is to develop your MVP, your market viable product. That's it. They are expected to bootstrap, you work out of your garage like Steve Jobs did, basically cut the cost, but come up with a market viable product. Basically, that's it. And I think the second part that I need to share is between the triumvirate, rather. Three things. Time that your customers will be looking at. So far, I think I've been going through this in my mind for quite a while. I don't think you can achieve all three at the same time. So it's only two.
Right.
Time, cost, and money. So you can only have two of those at any one time. Of course, I probably believe some companies in China probably can achieve all three. But generally, it would be a compromise. So if you want something of a good quality, it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of money, for example. If you want to shorten the time, if you want to lower the cost, then possibly you're going to increase the time or affect your quality. So you have at your customers, it'll be looking in one of those where your value proposition is. Frugal innovation is one part of it, but you will at this particular triumvirate and position yourself there. So I mean, for example, I think you can come up with highly automated robotic delivery system, for example, but does it make economic sense? So it's not technology for the sake of technology, but how it is translated. Frugal innovation generally is you allow to pass on your savings, your cost to the customers, and have it against your competitor. So for that is essentially frugal. It's I would view it as a means towards an end. Ultimately, what is it that your customer will be looking at? How you position yourself in the market. Well, that's at least my take on it. Thanks, Sabrina.
Thank you so much. I got your point as time, cost, and money, right? But these three things, quality, time, cost, and quality, and only try two things from these three, right? Generally lah. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Encik Azmin and also Nizam for explaining on this more towards frugal innovation. I think it is very important to provide value to the market and also to the people without compromising on our cost and also our quality of the product. And that's why this session is so important, right? Next off, I just want to ask on Yvonne, okay? Because talking about, just now you're mentioning about financial planning. So talking about financial planning and the new norm, Yvonne, I have this question for you. And how do you actually transform yourself and also your whole team in the financial planning industry to be more active and also be more active in social media and be more forward-looking during this time? But before you answer, I just want to acknowledge a lot of people that came in already. I just want to say thank you so much. Injet Bond Zainal, sorry, Injet Bond Zainal. Corinne from the Star, actually, we have actually more than 50, around 50 CEOs and founders in this chat room. Dato' Lawrence, thank you for coming. And also Dating Winnie, thank you so much for coming. We have so many, I don't want to miss you guys. Wayne Lim, and Ernie, and Zanariel from SIRIM Tech Venture. Right, thank you so much for coming. Yeah, y'all can just type. If y'all have any questions, those that just came in, if y'all have any questions, please do type on the chat group down there, okay? There's a chat group. Just type whatever questions you want. When the time permits, we will actually come to you, okay? All right. So sorry to disrupt because I just saw so many people coming in. Yes, Yvonne, back to you.
Yeah, in fact, I saw too Wayne from the founder of SME magazine Malaysia. Wow. Okay, Dating from A Card Above. Nazil, John Parking is all in this chat room here with us, and Dato' Lawrence from My Parentis. Wow, okay. So honored to have all of you here to listen to our honorable speakers, Sabrina and also me. All right, so not to take up much time, I will just address what Sabrina have asked me just now. So in fact, this pandemic caught us off guard. So most of us here are very directionless, and some are panicking on how their business can adapt to the new normal. So Sabrina and I, yes, we acknowledge that there are many uncertainties. Hence, we take a quick break in the early of MCO to look into how we can impact more people in this crisis. So rather than just creating many ways in this new normal, I want it to be more innovative. And we start to see what are the possible solutions available during the MCO. Instead of trying to do the old ways of being sales-driven for my team, I try to break the norm by doing very differently. So thus my team and I, we try to organize webinars to the public for our clients. So out of the series of Facebook Live that we have done, we decided to have mental health as our key topic and to be our very first Facebook Live. Because I think that it is very crucial for us to start with this subject. We need to manage our mental health for the Malaysian community before we dive into other subjects. Agree, right, Sabrina?
Yes, correct.
So rather than just being sales-oriented, I lead my team to look into innovative ways like what AJ and Nizam has been talking about, innovative ways, and to be more human this time. So when we meet our client this round, our team are prepared as we understand their exact need, at the same time, taking care of their mental wellness. So as for myself, I took a leap of faith in innovations as of our topic today. I know it is very important to innovate and to plan ahead. I need to know what I should be doing for the next 6 to 12 months after this MCO is lifted. So rather to succumb to pressure to be more sales-driven, I developed a more human approach with my Elevat8 team member here. Then we even send food and even send masks to our clients during this MCO. To spend more time to understand our client and to see how we can adjust to this new normal together.
Right.
And through this Facebook Live or series that we have done so far, like Zoom meeting or even webinar now, my team Elevat8 has successfully converted consumer-friendly approach to consumer-friendly digital approach. So yeah, that is how that's how my team and me, we transform ourselves to be more active and looking forward to the new normal. Yeah, pass to you, back to Sabrina.
Wow, I guess what you mentioned just now about the digital way of meeting online. Wow, okay, that is a new thing. So I think this whole pandemic is also a way for us to actually change different ways of doing things. And what I heard from what you mentioned just now is actually more towards still being human, Okay, still being human by reaching out to them through texting and also through giving them goods. So thank you so much for that thing. I think those that are watching can actually learn. I mean, like me personally, I'm learning as well on how, even though it's in the financial planning industry, it's still workable, it's still achievable. And also, all right, so for back to the innovation part, I think this whole thing is about innovation. So I just wanted to ask on Encik Ajmin, right? For yourself, as we all know, this is a bit complicated, but I just want to make it as simple as possible. As we all know that just now you mentioned about collaboration, right? And collaboration is very critical for success factor. Okay, whether is it from different industry, just now you mentioned, whether is it like from competitors or what, from different industry, whether is it between like private companies or maybe public sectors, whether is it from startups or maybe corporation, and even what we are doing now is actually from even human to machine. All these are different collaborations, right? And a key mechanism to foster this kind of collaboration is a combination of different ecosystem, right? And now this ecosystem will actually will be able to drive innovation and also a new business model. Okay, should we make our business organization to be more innovative centric, and how do we actually do it? I think this is one of the things that I would like to ask Encik Ajmin about the innovation part.
Right, Sabrina. I think it's a very complicated
Correct.
but I try to summarize it in the best manner that I can.
Yes.
By doing that, if possible, perhaps we can share that particular ecosystem. I will go straight into that one. That will actually save the time, I hope. Okay, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, our viewers, if you can see the screen right now, I think there's also a question, Sabrina, on the chat box that I really
Yes.
need to respond. But before I respond that, perhaps I will explain this one first.
Correct.
Then to respond that question live here, right? Okay. If you look at this one, this is what we call a GoTo platform. Some disturbances of the voices. No. Yeah.
Yvonne,
Right.
maybe you can mute if you want. Mute Yvonne.
All right, I'll do that.
So this GoTo platform, we call it, is a tech ecosystem. What does it mean? Actually, technology, enterprise, and commercialization hub ecosystem. As we mentioned earlier, we have so many, I would say, agencies, entities that actually helping, especially SME, also local innovation, to be commercialized. But somehow it's not really filling the gap or the addressing towards that commercialization. Because when we look into innovation, we look into TRL. TRL is what does it mean? It's a technology readiness level. That means the estimation of technology maturity. When is it supposed to be commercialized, ready for commercialized? So this is what the gauge that we are looking at. This is very complicated diagram, but I try to summarize also due to the time. Okay, so you can see the above line there, TRL 1 to 9. This is a normal way of gauging the innovation. Okay, we are STV only interested on TRL 6, initial endeavor, initial effort for us. That means we are focusing on our own innovation by SIRIM. So the idea is to push our own innovation to the market. But when you go along with that process, you will start realizing the technology will be depleted soon, right? So in order to be ready in the pipeline for you to commercialize the innovation, for this case, for the country, because we are working for the nation. So we are outreaching the lower TRL. So you see the diagram here, we are actually outreaching those groups who actually handling with lower TRL. So you're looking at TRL 1, 2, and 3 normally come from universities, colleges,
right,
education background, basically like that, because they are focusing more towards creating the invention part, the fundamental, the new knowledge. They're supposed to do that. But we need some other group of people who actually take up this up for higher TRL. So the process will go on. but it's not linear in this case. The process is not linear. That means when you reach at TRL 3 or 4, you have to wait somebody else to knock your door, or you have to promote it, whether this one is ready to take it up further or not. So this is the way we actually identify. So in order to do that, STV play this role to do all this connection. That means, if you can see the graph there, the technology sourcing come from two prongs, right? One is from the universities, the other one from the research institute or the individuals or the IP owners. So when actually approaching STV will do this thing. The route for lower TRL 4 to 5, this is what we call co-creation. The word is co-creation. That means we do the joint product or joint technology enhancement because it's not yet ready to be commercialized. So we need to actually beef it up into the whole value chain, the ecosystem. That means we are assisting. We are not saying STV is the best entity. We only do the bridging. So that's why I said the go-to platform. That means we're going to do the connection. If you can see that the team there, connect, collaborate, and co-create. So we do the connection, we do the collaboration, and we do the co-creation all together into one. So that means we do the connection with other, I would say, entity or other companies who actually interested to take this TRL into a higher TRL for further commercialization, for example. Okay, that is my that notion. The other one, you can see the above line there, we call it pre-docket. This is where the self-claiming saying that my technology is already in TRL 6. Okay, then we take it up, we do the analysis, we do the screening. So you can see the arrow, the blue color arrow is where STV services. So we give that services to the whole process. All right. So the co-creation part, the lower part just now, we are not interested of owning the IP. We only interested to push it up further towards the end, towards the commercialized part. Okay. When it is happening, then it's a matter of business. You have to pay certain token to us, right?
Right.
Just a service for us to do that. Okay. That is the other part. But the other one where the collaboration part is, that where from the pre-docket into technology docket, this is what we call collaboration. That means we collaborate. That means our strength with their strength, we collaborate to give a better value so that we go into the process. So we are giving those services in terms of technology assessment. This is also related to MDV. MDV mentioning about how you do the valuation. So this is the thing. Valuation of the technology is a matter of opinion at the end of the day. Meaning to say, willing buyer, willing seller. That's what I said, mentioned just now. It's not a matter of technology. How good your technology is, if you cannot make it happen, there's no value. Right. Meaning to say, there's no innovation. It's stuck in the cupboard for having the IP, but you are not going to commercialize it. Of course, this is not easy. This is a complicated journey. It's a daunting process, but we have to do it in order to have our country grows. Okay, for the benefit, the economical benefit of it. It's a challenge, but this is where we feel the ecosystem, one kind of ecosystem that we can work together. If you look at the bottom part there, I'm summarizing now. The industry need matching. We have to do that. We have to do the capacity building. This is where we give the workshop on the commercialization and also technology management or innovation management, if you like. And on your method just now, Yvonne mentioned about talking about digital human. We have to do it that way because now it's under MCO and COVID, post-COVID, we actually started doing that digitally. Even though it's not human, but we try to be human. Meaning to say we have to be interactive to the audience to give that understanding. Because this particular workshop is not normal attending the classes. You have to experience it. You have to really simulate the condition of how to do the commercialization. It's not easy. We know it, but we have to do it together. So that's how we go about it. Of course, technology transfer is one of our things. We want to transfer the technology to the owner. This will actually answer the question in the chat box. We are not the investor. That's why I say we are only the, I would say, technology agent. We want somebody else to take up and invest. So that's why MDV comes in. So I really wanted to work with MDV later on because this is opportunity for them to actually put this the money right into the pocket, where we do all the evaluation smartly and also intelligently. This is the one we believe we're going to be successful, phenomenal at the end of the day. But bear in mind, there's no way you can certain for 100% of any innovation. It's only success when the market really needs it, when there is a really the validation of it, so the value is right. So you can see that funding advisory, the only thing that we have, STV, there's no money. MDV has a lot of money. So we want to leverage with them, work together. So hopefully MDV will actually, together with us, onboarding this one towards that. I mean, a little bit of that. Nizam, perhaps maybe percent of your allocation to be here. Because we have people or we have attackers that's waiting for that, already start for 2 or 3 years. So that's why we wanted to share with the audience, if any kind of cases similar with that, come with us. We are not the best solution provider, but we can give some leads towards it. So in short, the blue part is where we give the services. It's only a services towards that process. You have to undergo that process in order for you to really commercialize it. But again, there's no 100% assurance. There's always a hiccup. There's always solid valley of death. If you understand the innovation process, there must be a valley of death. So some of the experience, I must have personally experienced it. I think Yvonne might know about it. I will share with her. I already falling down to the bottomless foundation. Already experienced that. So
it is very humble.
Not easy. That's why I say when we talk about innovation, it's not the technology, it's about the value, how we want to put forward this thing, right? So this ecosystem hopefully will give benefit to the anybody outside there, especially for those who wanted to push it up further. Okay, that's why when we started this one, you can see actually we did soft launching on the 5th of March. We start actually outreaching to those universities, and I believe some of the universities also listening here now. We are doing this to ensure we can do a collaboration and also co-creation, and yet we are not meeting with the competition yet, the competitor, because the competitor is not to say competing with us, competing with the technology that we are talking about, how we want to leverage and work together. You know, by working together, you give better value to the market. Not saying that killing the other people businesses. No, actually you are synergizing of all the ecosystem, the smaller ecosystem into a bigger ecosystem. And when we say we have this platform, we are not saying we are the best. We are trying to address those challenges before, before it's happened. If you look at the funding landscape in the country, we have so many grant and funding. But how the funding really work together, this is where we want to address. Okay, we want to call for other party to talk to us and see through how we want to work this one together. In fact, I also listen, Elevat8 also has that kind of thing, because we also were having the technology on renewable energy, actually for the benefit of the people, how we want to convert from the waste into energy, example. How we want to have smart farming, simple innovation that actually can create value. So if you're interested towards that, we can talk about it even longer.
Wow.
I don't want to take time because it takes up some time. But anyway, this is the thing I wanted to share with you all. If anything, just drop me a question. I hope I will answer certain of the questions.
Yeah, because I see quite a number of questions coming up already. Thank you so much, Encik Ajman, for that one. Yeah, the questions are coming up. I think the people are very, many of them are quite excited asking about the funding part. Okay, can we take a question? Let me see. Can I have SK Chong? Okay, because a lot of people, they are, this is actually to Encik Nizam. Wait, let me see. Yeah. So because most of them, they are actually quite curious and wanted to know more about the funding, Okay, so can I take one from SK Chong? So far, there is no commercial bank that are willing to loan for future technologies R&D fund. Okay, so it's very difficult for SME to come out with a solid new tech product with IP. What is your comment on this to support SME company which can develop more great products for Malaysia?
Thank you, Sabrina. Sorry, Jay, if I may take this. So generally, like I mentioned, there is, generally you would have, just to backstep it, I mean, if you were to come to MDV or the banks, for example, generally, given that we all give out loans, so we would expect a repayment to come in. So the more appropriate entity to take up loans would be a company that is generating revenues. So like I mentioned earlier, I think we had a discussion with Sabrina and Yvonne. So again, companies progress from obtaining seed funding, and when they reach their growth stage, they would take on VCs, and once they go to expansion, then that's MDV or banks or follow-on funding from the VCs. But at the early stage, as I see from one of the other chats, it would be friends, families, or I believe Cik Haziq mentioned, angel investors. So angel investors generally, or grants, are the appropriate parties to finance when you are at the early stage. So I understand it can be frustrating. I think, but you have to choose the right organization and the right type of funding, depending on the stage where you're at now. So let's say if you are very early stage, you give banks your business plan, they're not going to be able to do much with it. Basically, they're going to rely on, have you been in operations for at least 3 years? Can I see your track record? Are you profit generating? What assets do you have? So those are the kinds of questions you're asking. At that stage of time, when you are still developing your business model, your revenue model, you would need to go to agencies that provide grants in Malaysia and under the Ministry of Science. That would be Cradle Fund. And within Cradle, they are also the secretariat called Malaysian Business Angel Networks. So these are the experienced entrepreneurs or high net worth individuals that lend their expertise and invest also in early startups. And you would also have accelerators. So they would come into that space. So once you have that business model, you're building up your corporate infrastructure, then that's where you're able to go to VCs then. So essentially for VCs, they would basically lend you. You would have several stages. The first stage is called Series A in Malaysia, that runs between 4 to 7 million ringgit. So that's for you to build up your business model, expand your business to other region, expand your revenue model to include in other modules. Like for example, let's say for Airbnb and the like, they would go on to about Series G and so forth. So again, they would, or Grab, for example, they would go way beyond A, B, C, D, E, F, G, for example. And at certain point in time, when you are generating revenue, when you have the capacity to repay back your loan, so that's when you take on debt. So I understand there's going to be questions on the technology startup funding release facility, but this is meant to cater for this period when there is coming in. We've talked to startups, about 180 or so. Most of them see revenues declining between 60 to 90%. But you still have to continue to pay for your talents. You still have to continue to pay for your rental, for your IT vendors. So basically, this is a liquidity assistance for you to be able to pay until you get back, you bring back your momentum, have your business running, then you can repay this loan. But this is like an overdraft or revolving facility. So basically you can reuse it once you repay. It's a term loan where you pay down and then that's it. But you need this liquidity assistance just over for the next few years. I think also to the other questions where although the principal focus again is for venture capital companies, but we are also looking at companies that have operations in Malaysia, the significant portion of the business revenues are generated in Malaysia. Workers are Malaysia, the Malaysian-centric part of it. But what we are looking at is not only VCs. We would like to be as inclusive as we can. We would look also to companies that have received government assistance. But having said that, it's not really meant to be financial assistance. It could be assistance through their coach and grow programs, for example, the startup boot camps. But I can assure you MDV will be inclusive. We will include other technology startups that may have been overlooked by the capital companies. There are great companies that have individual investors in there where the founders and promoters are still running the company. So we will include these companies also, not just the VC back.
Right.
That also answers one of the questions, I think.
Yes. So SK, I hope Encik Nizam is able to answer your question on this. We have more questions coming, but I want to address this question to Yvonne first, because most of them are more towards the technology and your one is more towards the financial. So looking at your financial, right, how I realized that you are actually very innovative in your way, doing different things. So how actually your business can make full use of the current digital tools, for example, Zoom, Facebook and StreamYard that are available. How can we actually make use, the best use of it to your?
Okay, thank you, Sabrina. Okay, in this MCO, I do pick up a lot of new skill, like what AJ mentioned just now, a lot of new skill, new learnings, try to be more human. Yeah, so in fact, we are quite blessed to have digital tools available. So let me break it down into 3 parts. So part 1 is to use digital tools to stay in touch with my clients. So part 2 will be using digital tools to share value and add values to the Malaysian community. And the part 3 will be using digital tools to deliver strategies and guide to SME businesses. Right. So in part 1, staying in touch with my clients, we use setting up Zoom meeting to show concern and to answer inquiries, or doing virtual application setup by our company, and even pick up video editing skill to send some of the videos to cheer our client up during the crisis. Right. So that's part 1 for my client. So for part 2, we are able to share value-added knowledge to Malaysian community through Facebook Live. Like for example, the one that I mentioned previously, we talk about managing mental health via live. So I also learned about how to use Hangout for corporations. And just now, AJ and Nizam also mentioned about our Microsoft team. Then we also pick up about StreamYard. I think a lot of people are using StreamYard. Before MCO, no one knows about StreamYard, but in this MCO, everyone start to learn what is StreamYard to do a broadcasting on live. And also, I even taught my client in Wyatt in to do StreamYard broadcast to their client as well. So like whatever we are doing now, setting up webinars for our honorable guest AJ and also Nizam here and all the guests who attend to this webinar to help more Malaysian community to benefit from this session. So that is the value adding part for part 2. And for part 3 is to deliver strategy and guide to SME businesses through e-report creations. So this is some of my initiative where I do during the MCO. Can everyone see this? Can you see? Yeah. So this is some of the e-reports that I did to help SME during MCO and also post MCO. What can they do? What can they learn from Alibaba and all these kind of guidelines? Yeah, so all this able to do through digitalization and all the tools that is available online and also in social media. So I would like to say through digitalization, we can carry out our mission in financial education in a faster pace, impacting larger audience through online. So I hope I answered that question to Sabrina.
Wow, I think most of us actually reach out to more audience. In fact, for AJ and also Encik Nizam, AJ, we actually reaching out to more people just through digitalization on this kind of platforms, right? Yes. So thank you so much, Yvonne. I realize you have different ways of actually providing values to your customers as well, especially when you say you do more towards the SME article, just for them so that they can actually learn from it. And I think it's very value added, and a lot of people will benefit from it, right? And actually, okay, for AJ, right? AJ, I have a lot of people actually are interested in the SIRIM STV that is doing. One of them is asking, how can business owners and also CEOs or investors, like maybe so to say, participate in SIRIM STV?
Okay. I think that's a very rightly question posted to us. In fact, we are looking into people that would like to be either investor or the tech owner. It can be both, because it depending on what appetite that you're looking at, right? So we have that, I would say, a strategy or medium to do that. As you can still remember just now, I put the tech docket, technology docket. The tech docket is where we contain all the ready technology for anybody who wanted to take up. So that means we already evaluated above the RL6, the only above the RL6 where we are offering to the public. So now we are reaching the other end where it's still doing the processing of feeding up into the pipeline. So we are hoping we manage to get those things from the local universities to be offered to the investors. So yes, to answer that, we are very much open to it. Please come see us. I think you can get my detailed contact with Yvonne or Sabrina with this kind of platform, right? And yes, we wanted investor to understand, and also the funding agency to understand, to bring the local technology, especially how you want to put really I would say the confidence and also the benefit. Because when you do the calculation, when you do the cash flow of the project, it's always nice on paper, because at the end there is a mathematics. But again, what's the market need? The market validation has to be done. The market study has to be done. So at the various stages, it's either at the early stage, at the medium stage, or towards the end of the stage, in order to confirm whether this particular innovation is really going to be boom at the end of the day or loom at the end of the day. So that is actually depending on that particular situation. So I'm looking forward for investors and people, anybody interested, to talk to us. We have things that we want to discuss on this one. Yeah, no problem.
Yes, so for those that are interested, investors or those that are interested to participate, please do look for AJ Ashmin. After this session, you can reach out to him. I think he is more than willing to actually help, right? Okay, so for AJ Nizam, that's actually one of the things that I wanted to ask, because I understand that Malaysia Debt Venture recently came out with a technology startups funding relief facility that was quite recent. Could you share a little bit with us on how more about this relief fund?
This is generally a cash line or something similar to like an overdraft. We're not a bank, so we can't offer. So this is on demand. So basically you can, fortunately we don't have checks. Again, there's a form that you just need to write in, submit, basically would bank it to your account. So like I mentioned, I think it has been challenging for most of the startups. For example, I mean, especially the digital ones, the ones operating platform. We've talked to companies that provides interior design, home renovation, housing rental, so these kind of platforms. So most of them are looking at 60 to 90% down in this particular period. And then, as like in most businesses, it will take time again for you to rebuild your momentum, to re-engage your customers, the network for you to build. This particular period, you're going to need, like I mentioned, your people needs to be paid, your talents, your systems vendor, your rental, for example, and with no cash flows coming in. So essentially, this is more as a liquidity measure to help startups maintain their sustainability. So waiting for revenues to kickstart, basically, use this facility to pay your suppliers, vendors, your people, whatever. And when when things get started again, you rebuild your momentum, then basically you can pay this down. But like I mentioned, this is like a credit card of sorts. So once you pay down, the limit again would be available and you can use it. But I think most of the startups, if I can share, MDV even for MDV's own purposes, we don't rely on any funding from the government. So we issue bonds, but that is government guaranteed. That allows us to have a lower amount of lower rate lah. So we charge our customers lower also. But like all customers, we need to ensure our liquidity. So not just to rely on government guaranteed bonds. So essentially, we have our own corporate rating. We ourselves have facilities with the banks, revolving facilities. That is to finance my own revolving facilities. This startup fund, for example, is a further diversification. Government lends MDV money directly. So we need to have diverse funding sources to ensure that your liquidity is maintained. So for startups, especially the ones at the VC back, I think when they found out that when they have to rely entirely on equity funding, and then equity funding is going to be supplemented by, of course, your revenues. But when revenues dried up, basically you're going to eat into the cash that you raise from the venture capital companies or your investors. For type of accounts, you're going to need different type of funding sources from your capital. So in this particular, you would have like a credit card that you would keep, and for, like I mentioned, for liquidity purposes, bridging any income, for example, your project, or your large major customer themselves may have any issues, but you give them a longer credit period, but you still need to pay. So you would use these type of facilities to cover your expenses until your debtors would make their payments or make good on whatever you provided them. So this is more like an overdraft facility. Like I mentioned, they are looking at VC-backed companies that have received government assistance. But having said that, we aim to be as inclusive as possible. We do recognize the fact that there are innovative, high-tech companies that are still owned by the founders, the original promoters, or other investors that believe in them. So we would not exclude them, and we would include them in the entire pool. So this particular application is open from the 18th to the 31st. But to be fair, for the people who have submitted, we will start the process. But but I do need to alert for the other startups is that although we will close it on the 31st for the first cohort, we will continue to open application windows until the entire fund is fully exhausted. So right now we have applications in hand for about 52 million. But there is still some allocation. But given the long break, but we will still close on 31st to be fair to the others. But not to worry, we will open another window. We will continue to open windows until everything's fully exhausted to ensure that the money is out there. Sorry, one final word on this. I know we've exceeded the 1 hour mark.
So many things.
The financing program is meant to achieve 4 things actually. That is the brief that we were given. One is that minimal application document, short assessment process, little or minimal amount of legal documentation, and 4 fast disbursement. So we're all looking at speed. So on 31st, we will process the first batch and hope to get everything out by at least between the 3rd or 4th week of June, as fast as we can, given the urgency of the need for all the companies out there.
Right, thank you so much. I think this is a very good initiative by Malaysia Debt Venture. In fact, I believe a lot of people they are looking for it. So those that are looking for this fund, please do log in and also to apply as well, because this is actually a location for SMEs and also business owners, right? So thank you so much. And yes, we will be taking a few more questions. Yvonne, I also wanted to ask, because just now was talking more towards your way of approaching people and also how you actually connect with them. I also want to be very honest and just want to ask you, how does innovation, okay, since we are talking about innovation here, how does innovation has helped you personally, and how do you take a very different path now?
Okay, thank you, Sabrina. First of all, AJ and Nizam, please don't laugh at me for this one, okay? I was one of the top performer, last year in the industry. So please don't laugh at me. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Okay, so in this MCO, I wanted to be less sales driven. I want to be more human. So in fact, we did not reveal this to everyone, but through this initiative and also the new way of approaching, we have overwhelmed responses. We have appointment with existing and also new clients from now until August. In fact, our potential client already expanded about threefolds. You can ask Sabrina as well. Yeah.
Yes.
So at first in this, yeah, exactly. So at first in the beginning of MCO, to be innovative, doing the not normal way in the new norm, to some of our peers, to some gurus, they are very puzzled with what we are doing. But after a couple of weeks, when they witness the activity, they are getting traction, they start to tag us, like me and Sabrina personally, start connecting to us and asking us, how can we collaborate with them and to guide them on how we can take this innovation path? And these are the people within our industry, and some of them is out from our industry as well. So some of these people who are responded even commented me and Sabrina and our team Elevate that we are the future of our industry. So of course, my skill of innovation cannot compare to SIRIM, STV, and MDVs here. Definitely cannot compare. Okay. So yeah, we are the more micro. We are the micro. So, but that doesn't mean that you should take innovation lightly. So, but of course, everything comes with sacrifices. Sabrina and I, we come with a very painful decision, which is not to be sales driven. In this couple of months, we want to focus on innovative way. We want to be more human. We hold on firmly to our thoughts. And to be honest, it is not an easy path. It is a rocky path, and we face a lot of obstacles every day along the way. You can ask Sabrina as well. It's really not easy. But our Elevate team, we are very satisfied with the outcome, to be more human in this new normal. We often wanted breakthroughs. We need to be creative, but innovations is our topic today, will leapfrog us to another level on how we approach our business. So I took a different approach. Even though I was advised not to, sometimes I'm being scolded or even judged for spending a lot of time on social media. Yeah, Sabrina immediately responded because she knows.
Because those that are watching, then.
I don't want to. I will use Dato Sri Raymond. Well, I agree to disagree. Okay. So I was scolded and for spending a lot of time on social media, and even on digital transformation, because some peers are rather comfortable with their conventional approach. So I would say I cannot speak on behalf of my industry, but I personally feel that we need a lot of innovations. We need breakthrough. It is okay that we are slow in sales, but we are fast in being a human and to do the right thing in this MCO. So I want to be the Kwan. I want myself and my team to be more future prepared, to be more human to our clients, and to educate financial education to the Malaysia SME and also MNC community. So I hope I answered that question, Sabrina. Pass back to you.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. When you mentioned being scolded and all these things, I do understand where you're coming from. And it's very different because we are transforming in a very different way from a convention to a very unconventional way. That's why we feel very privileged to actually talk to Encik Ajman and also Encik Nizam on innovation, because you guys are like the tech. Of course, we are micro. You guys are the macro part. So thank you so much, Yvonne, for actually explaining on this different path that you are taking, and also how it is going to impact the different people and also the industry of financial planning as well. I have some questions from the floor. In fact, I have a question from Dato' Lawrence. Okay, Dato' Lawrence is asking, by the way, I saw Michael Teo. So hi, Michael Teo, if you are in. Michael Teo is the founding CEO of Thriving Talent. So hi. Okay, back to Dato' Lawrence's question. So this is question for, I think it's for both. Innovation is such a big word, okay, to many businesses, and there is a myth that innovation is costly. Okay, that's true. My question is, how can SMEs encourage innovation among employers and also employees? And are there any industry that is almost impossible to innovate or pivot? Can I pass it to Inje Ajmin?
Wow, okay. These questions are
I will pass it to both actually.
I try my best to respond. I agree and also disagree in the sense that yes, the first thought is innovation is actually costly, but there is I would say platforms or alternatives on how to go about it. Innovation, as I mentioned, is not necessarily going into a breakthrough kind of innovation. It's just a simple kind of innovation that can bring value to any targeted market. That actually will siphon most of the unproductive investment, if you like, to go into that. Okay, and there is a way that I'm looking at it. That's the way I also interact with all our customers. That when we start exploring the opportunities, then we know where we are heading to. Sometimes when you are alone, you do not know where you wanted to go to. That's why we are introducing this GoTo platform. It so happen Dr. Lauren has got some idea or whatever it is. I think I'm very much open to meet with him and to discuss about it. It is also debatable in what angle you're looking at. Yes, true. SME is a bit now during the MCO we are talking about cash flow problems and all that. But how we want to actually go. That's why I prefer to go stages by stages. What we can do first, in order for us to leapfrog into a bigger aim. So we cannot do all the time right now because during MCO it's a lot of obstacle and limitation. But I do believe under SME now government is offering a lot of opportunities that perhaps we can tap along into this particular initiative and see what we can do for it. And being STV as the subsidiary of SIRIM, we have a lot of facilities and expertise that I would say come from SIRIM. We can be a window. So we wanted to help SME in what area. Perhaps also certain SME has experiences, of course, perhaps with us, but it doesn't matter. We want to actually trash it out and resolve it if the minimal possible so that we give you better value. Okay. When we talk about SIRIM, we're talking about market access. We have a lot of subsidiaries that focusing into certain areas, so we can actually help the SME to go forward. That's I can say about it. Once we understand what is really the requirements. Okay. So I think that's what I said. Agree and disagree. But certainly innovation is a simple way can give you high return. But not necessarily doing a bigger kind of high rocket, super rocketing technique that at the end you're not getting anything because it's not yet ready, you see. So the technology readiness level is very important here. When we say TRL6, what actually is TRL6? Everybody knows about it, especially from the university, from the tech background. When you say prototype, everybody knows prototype. What does it mean by prototype? So this is where we wanted to explain and to share. When we say prototype, is something that's supported with the real environment that has been tested. That means it's almost there. It's almost like 80% ready for commercialization. Only a little bit of tweaking. So we wanted to help that. Okay,
Right.
we are not the answer for all, but we believe we can do something about it for the benefit of SME. We understand about the challenges for SME, but I think that's not the end of it. We can work together. I believe so. Okay.
Thank you so much, Encik Azmi. I realize he is always giving a lot of opportunities, and I hope this answers to Dato' Lawrence question. We still have another 10 minutes, so we'll just wrap it up. And I just want to address to one of the question from Haziq Hamid. Okay, Haziq Hamid is addressing to Encik Nizam. I'm sending my question to Encik Nizam. Encik Nizam, is it possible to get a grant from institutions or investor funding by presenting only the idea, concept, functionalities, and algorithm without a prototype? Because of the limited resources, I conducted a survey. Thousands of people demand for my product, but so this is actually a question by Haziq Hamid. I did house quality, and also Malaysia is not so. No such product exists yet. I believe with high demands right now, and it can dominate Malaysia market. My product can help the community. Yes, this one.
Thank you, Sabrina. Haziq, again, thank you again for the question. I think what we're looking at for the government, they have restructured the funding agencies. Basically, there will be 3 agencies following the 2019 budget speech in 2018. Government will give out 3 types of funding: grants, equity, and debt. For grants, it's Cradle. For equity, it will be MAVCAP, Malaysian Venture Capital Management Company. And for debt, it'll be MDV. So again, this will streamline everything, and hopefully we won't have technopreneurs, entrepreneurs going to the wrong company at the wrong stage of development. So for Haziq's question, for example, for grants, essentially, what you mentioned at the early stage, pre-seed, essentially, that needs to be given the risk involved, that to be handled by a grant program. So for Cradle, from what I understand, basically you would pitch your idea like you mentioned to them.
Right.
But before that, I think, and also for some perhaps of the aspiring entrepreneurs in here, we also have another related company called Magic, Malaysia Global Innovation Center, I believe. Sorry if I got it wrong. Sorry, Zulera, if I got it wrong. But basically what they do is, if you look at their website, they constant training, boot camps, basically building up the entrepreneur's capability. You may have the ideas, the technology part, but at the end of the day, the entrepreneurs have to realize that they are running a business. So for some of the graduates that I myself have met, that went through some of the programs, they are able to converse with the financiers in the language that they finance, that the financiers understand. So again, these are some of the things that perhaps some of the aspiring entrepreneurs or even Cik Haziq, for funding at the stage that you're at, Cradle would have the program appropriate for you. But in addition to that, for some of the other aspiring entrepreneurs, I would advise that you perhaps attend or enroll yourself in some of the talks or boot camps that is provided by Magic, again, to build up your own soft skills and business capabilities, like financial, cash flow. At the end of the day, you will need essentially the pitch deck. Basically, it's just 5 to 7 slides. You're going to start with your problem statement. You're going to have to tell everything to the VCs in between 10 to 15 minutes generally. You need to convince them in that particular space of time. So you will need to learn your communications. You can't have 30, 40 pages worth of slides. You will lose them. But sorry, for MDV, since we do project financing, we do need as much information as we can. But again, these are some of the things. Cradle, remember, Cradle Fund, Sendirian Berhad,
Yes.
and also Malaysian Global Innovation Center, I believe, that's based in Cyberjaya. So these are perhaps some of the 2 organizations, MDV sister organizations, that you may engage with or hook up with. to find out more about how they can assist. Sorry, there was also a question on equity crowdfunding platform, if I can answer that.
Yes. Okay, you
Sorry,
may.
I may have missed out that. But you do have another program called Equity Crowdfunding Platform. This is essentially a mini IPO of sorts, where you would work with the platform operator. It's called a registered market operator, equity platform, list on that platform, and you would have high net worth individuals. Well, it's a certain definition, or individuals coming in to put in money that ranges from maybe like 5,000 ringgit, 10,000 ringgit, all the way like up to a few 100,000 for you to raise funds. So the present regime is that you're able to raise at one time 3 million, for life 5 million. But I understand the Securities Commission have increased it to 10 million. So that is also another avenue. The other part is that, sorry, we're not affiliated with any equity crowdfunding platform. The other part is called a peer-to-peer funding platform. So for equity crowdfunding platform, you get investors in, people who invest. They are able to take a high risk position. But you also have peer-to-peer, where essentially, again, similar like banks, it's more in terms of post-financing or receivable financing for you to have short-term loans. But again, you have to measure again the pricing. Some of the pricings can be quite high on some of the P2Ps.
So thank you. Yeah. So thank you so much for the answer. I hope that answer you, Encik Haziq Hamid. Yes.
I just want to raise hand, Sabrina. I want to add what Cik Nizam just mentioning about just now, because I think it's very true. When you do the pitching, we're not talking about project pitching. You're talking about business pitching. This is what we also wanted to guide those SME with those innovation. We are talking about 3 to 4 slides only. As mentioned by Cik Nizam just now, it's very true. This is what we wanted also to change our educationists' thinking of projecting their innovation. When we're talking about financing, they are talking about value. They are not talking so much about the technology per se. That's why when you have 30, 40 slides, nobody will actually digest it. It's too technical. They want to see what is your problem statement, your value proposition, and all that. What bring at the end of the day is ROI. What's the return? All that. So I would suggest that has to be clearly understood. You must do the business pitching, and definitely you need prototype. I think Cik Nizam also agreed, right? You need a prototype. It's two different things. One is a physical prototype, non-physical prototype. Physical prototype, we're talking about perhaps related with the engineering kind of innovation. Whereas the non-engineering, you need a simulation, but you have to prove when you use the simulation for that matter, that software, what is the accuracy like, when you do the simulation. So this is very required in order to convince whether your prototype level is actually ready or not. So this is very much important. I hope I just want to add in that way. Okay?
Yeah, thank you so much, Encik Ashman. I think that is very good for the adding. I think at the end of the day, it's about the value and also the value that be provided to the market as well. Right. Okay. So we have one more last question for Encik Nizam by Nadi. Okay, this will be the last question before we wrap up. What are the industries Malaysia Debt Venture are looking into financing in the near future? And also, COVID-19 has changed the whole dynamic. Will the direction of the companies for MDV interested in will be different?
Again, for MDV, our main business is still project or contract financing. So let's say if you would have, because we also look at counterparty risk, the actual money coming in will be from the contract awarder rather than from the customer. So from the customer, we look at in terms of performance risk or execution risk, the people behind the company, the money will be coming in from the contract awarder. So we're looking at that counterparty risk.
Right.
So generally for us, for contract or project financing, we'll still be looking at IT and green technology, but that has its actually quite wide when we mention IT. For us, IT itself has 8 subsectors. Green technology has about 12. But the two areas that we're looking at now is, especially in relation to the National Fiberization and Connectivity Plan, especially the service providers. The one is energy performance contracting. That's when you have a profit sharing for the energy saved. So those are the two areas that the team is looking at. We would have, we are very transactional. If there are no projects, no contracts, and unfortunately my sales team gets a holiday. But the other part of it, when we're looking at startups, generally it'll be from two parts. I am applying a top-down approach where we look at certain sectors and we try to proactively identify companies in these sectors and we approach them to ensure that we have them in our portfolio. The other part is that we partner with venture capital companies or private equity companies or even some of our sister agencies really funnels these companies to us. So in terms of whether COVID-19 or not, but again, what we're looking at is companies that is sustainable. But I think as most of the pundits, I think certain senior figures in the government have mentioned that COVID-19 is just one instance, but sort of disruption could be not necessarily health related, but other related that would impact the three main areas. It's impacting supply, it's impacting worker availability. So I think never has there been an occurrence that all three has been hit at the same time. But sort of disruption perhaps will portend a crisis. But again, for SMEs, it could be an opportunity to reimagine, reinvent themselves, build up your innovation team internally, or like what Jasmine had mentioned, work with competitors, your suppliers, to rethink the supply chain, the business model, the revenue model. So again, for us, generally, we are, again, very transactional, but there are certain areas top-down that we will look at. But the other parts of it is we will, again, work with our partners. They will, again, identify where they would invest, we would lend, and by working together, again, I believe we can add value and progress the company further.
Wow. Okay, thank you so much, Nizam. I hope it answered your question. Neddy has another question. This will be the last already because it's overtime. Thank you so much, Nizam, for answering that question. So Neddy have another question for Ashmin. Is it? Did I saw it? And for Ashmin?
Yeah, I already answered.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. You already answered already, yeah?
I hope Neddy clear about it. If not, just call me up, no problem.
Okay, so I think that's about it. So thank you so much for all the participants and also all the guests, those that came in, spend your time. I would like to thank Michael Teo. I would like to thank all the people, Zanaria. Thank you so much. And also CEO of Jom Parking that is here, Encik Muhammad Nasir. Thank you so much for coming. And Corinne Cheng from the Star Business, Datuk Lawrence, thank you for being here as well. Datin Winnie Lu that came with us. And also Wayne, all right? Wayne is also with us as well. Thank you so much, all the participants. Thank you for taking this time. I hope this session is beneficial to you, and in fact this is actually saying by far one of the most engaging webinars. So many questions that is up, and we have actually the perfect combo. I mean, like, besides the look and it looks similar, we have the perfect combo lah, huh? We have the brothers here. Okay,
it's not a McDonald's combo or KFC combo.
Besides the look that is almost a similar look with the specs and also the hairstyle, thank you, the perfect organization and also the best CEOs as speakers. Thank you so much, Inje
Thank you again,
Ashwin.
Sabrina,
Thank you,
Yvonne. Thank you
Nizam,
for
and thank you,
inviting us.
Yvonne. And today is one
Thank
of
you
the
all
most
for listening.
exciting day. Yes.
Yeah, thanks Sabrina and Yvonne, and also Elevat8 for inviting us.
Most welcome. I hope
Thank you
everyone
again.
that came here will be able to actually benefit from it. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Right.
Bye.
Thank you again for
Yes.
listening.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, all.
Good night.
How to